Lincoln Riley is approaching his fourth season at USC as the head coach, and there is no more excuses for him anymore. It's time for him to deliver on the massive changes that he has made to this program over the last couple of seasons. They've been saying that he's had to rebuild these last couple of years because initially the program that he inherited when he took over for Clay Helton was a dumpster fire. It was lacking the necessary talent needed to compete for a national championship. It was going to be a few years before the Trojans were ready to be a potential contender for the playoffs. Well, they end up overachieving in year one with Caleb Williams winning the Heisman Trophy under Lincoln Riley, his first season as the head coach. They win 11 games, and ever since then, they've seen a gradual decrease in the win column. You go from 11 to 8 wins in year 2 to 7 wins in year 3. In year 4, the rebuild has to be over. You got to deliver if you're Lincoln Riley in 2025 for USC. Over the last couple of years, you have made an all-out commitment to prioritizing being more physical, emphasizing weight gain, strength and conditioning, punishing players for not meeting certain weight gain requirements. The defense, you bring in D'Anton Lynn as your defensive coordinator. And year one last year, under D'Anton Lynn, this was a top 50 defense. Imagine the big leap this defense is going to make in year 2 under D'Anton Lynn calling plays on this side of the ball. This should be a top 25 defense. They have brought in some big-time recruits on the defense side of the football. Guys like Cameron Fountain, I believe he's going to be one of their better players on defense this year. He should be a really good pass rusher. He should be a dominant force when it comes to getting after the quarterback. What they're bringing in out of the transfer portal should solidify them on the line of scrimmage, on the defensive line and the offensive line. Oregon stole one of their best offensive linemen, but hopefully they bring in somebody that can replace them. And overall, we know Lincoln Riley always has competent quarterback play. Miller Moss wasn't crappy. You know, he was pretty good for what you get out of most quarterbacks in college football. He was a solid quarterback. He just wasn't a good quarterback. That was the problem with him. Lincoln Riley expects good to great, not okay. With what he has coming in Mavia, hopefully I got that right, the potential with him is limitless. He has a very strong arm. He's a really great athlete. If he can just lower his interceptions, this offense can be really dynamic. They got 2 really good receivers. They got a ton of depth at that position. At running back, Lincoln Riley always gets it right with that position. This is a team that has the capability of being a potential 11th, 10th, or 12th seed in the CFP this year if everything goes right. USC won 7 games last year, but there were 2-3 losses that they left on the table, that they lost due to one possession collapses. Remember how they lost to Michigan? How Michigan just had a ground and pound 2-minute game-winning drive to win it on them. How they choked against Maryland. That was embarrassing. They almost had an upset win over Penn State, but they collapsed in the second half. There were some games that USC left on the table. If you can win those close games this year, this easily is a 9-10 win team. Lincoln Riley is a good coach. He's shown that he can win at the highest level. He won at Oklahoma. He led them to Big 12 titles. He led them to appearances in the CFP on several occasions there. We think of USC football as being a national championship contender at their peak. We think about the golden era when they had Pete Carroll as the head coach, Carson Palmer, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart. They were just a football factory. Can Lincoln Riley get USC back to that point? Is this program even capable of being able to get back to that level. The same question that we're asking about USC right now is the same one we have about Miami under Mario Cristobal. But there's no more excuses for Lincoln Riley. You got a good foundation with the good coaching staff that you have on defense, all of the players that you have on that side of the ball that are more talented than what you've had these previous 2 years. You know, offensively, the talent's there for you to have a really productive season on that side of the ball as well. Everything is perfectly aligned for USC to go on a run this year. They should win 9 to 10 games, but if not, then maybe it's time for USC to move on. But it's time for him to produce. Everything's there. It's time for all of these changes that Lincoln Riley has made to start paying off on the field in the W column.